Good day to you. This is Wildman from Wildman Productions coming at you live and strong. Today we're going to discuss the WLToysV977. Not to be confused with the Cyma S977, which is a whole different... we won't get into that. Anyway, this is a 6-channel helicopter. A lot of people give reviews on this and they do their unboxing, they do their flight tests, they do this, they do that. I'm not doing any of that. There's plenty enough out there to keep your eyes on. That being said, I'm giving a review on this. A lot of people I hear recommending these little guys, which are supposedly designed after the V911. As a 6-channel, it's a nice little helicopter, I've got to say. But I also have to say, a lot of people recommend this for beginners all the way up. I beg to differ. If I was a beginner, which I've seen beginners with these things, I would not recommend for a beginner. Get to know how to run a 4-channel and know that they're sensitive compared to a 3-channel before you ever even think of firing this little guy up. When this little guy came out of its box, I was trying to trim it up. Here's a perfect example. I wasn't standing back far enough. Oops, my mistake. This little sucker came back and laid into my arm, and I ended up with a gash in my arm where its blade caught me. Not highly recommended for a beginner. If you're not knowing how to work a 4-channel, you need to leave a 6-channel the heck alone, including this little guy. Pros and cons. It flies awesome. It's sensitive as unholy get out. This little guy will just... he flies circles around most everything. They are awesome. They are pretty dang cool. The only thing I don't like about this little guy is whoever designed and created it made an extreme design flaw. I ordered one of these for myself and one for my wife. And we both have the same exact problem, so I know it wasn't just something that happened along the way. The main gear on the bottom here, every time, even if you land it just a hair hard, I mean just like that, that darn little thing, when it's spinning around in circles, if you land it hard at all and it bumps the bottom of this unit and presses those landing skids out just enough to bump that bottom, it's going to knock that gear off, because that gear is actually held on only by press fit. That's it. Has no screws to hold it in place, has no anything else, just a press fit. I'm sorry, that I find really annoying. My wife ended up taking hers down outside one day, and she's not as skilled as I am, which even I make mistakes. We all do. Anybody who's a pilot with these little guys or any type of RC helicopter, you're going to crash occasionally. That being said, it takes nothing for these little gears to just pop off and run for parts unknown. It took us a week to find the last one whenever my wife lost hers, but thank goodness I have spares. They come with one spare, but that doesn't last long when they just pop off so easy that you bump it and it just like a frisbee. That's ridiculous. Other than that, I would say this is a darn fine little heli. I have no qualms, no arguments with it, aside from that particular feature. Well, actually, no, I do have one other qualm. When you're in 6G mode, they should make the motor to where it doesn't have to wind up full steam ahead just to lift off. That's a bit annoying. I can get this sucker to take off at about half speed if I just throw the throttle. Instead of taking time to wind it up, I'll throw the throttle up, and while it's winding up, it's already taking off. And then it gets to full speed and keeps climbing like unholy heck. In 6G mode, that's a little bit redundant. You don't need the motor to be winding wide open to do it. But all in all, it's got a kill switch right here to where if you screw up, you just throw that switch, and yeah, I mean, it shuts the engine off. You don't have to try to kick it down or anything. If you're in 3G flight mode and you're doing stunts and all sorts of maneuvers and you see you made a boo-boo, you just throw that button and she blows. When it hits down, it's going to do minimal damage. Durability, it's a pretty durable little unit. The longer tail makes it a little bit weaker than the V911s because, well, you got more stuff to break in the process of all this length as opposed to this length. But all in all, I would have to say, as far as a product review, I would say this little guy does pretty good. Once again, I will say, I am not a paid advertiser. I am not paid or sponsored or anything like that. This is all my own review for anybody out there interested in possibly purchasing one of these units. That being said, overall it's worth buying if you know what you're doing. I would not recommend for a beginner or for an intermediate. Make sure you know what you're doing before you ever pick this little guy up. That being said, this is the WLToysV977. Have a great day, Wildman out.